So Rose was thinking about the cons and pros of being bilingual. Ching, 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 ching. Being bilingual, I think you're always translating your native language, in my case, Spanish. I was trying first to search that word in Spanish and then translate it to English.
I don't know if it's happened to you, but when we are talking to people in English, I sometimes for me, it works I make a switch. I totally switch to English or I totally switch to Spanish. And I have a loading time between each switch. French, I have this huge problem that the words sometimes are spelled in the same way as Spanish. And so I tend to pronounce them in Spanish instead of French.
In my case, I also have problem in the translation, right? Because I'm translating from Spanish to English or to French. Sometimes there's a word like fait in French that doesn't relate to anything in English or Spanish.
Yeah.
So learning that word or trying to use it more frequently was difficult because I was I want to eat. And when I try to translate to French, there's nothing near to eat. Learning that word, instead of translated, you have to learn it.
Yeah.
This is eat. So it's a little bit more difficult to learn that word that is not related because I'm always trying to translate.
When I was starting my French, my real Quebecois French, I wanted to say I want, and in French I did not know the verb for want. So I said it in Spanish, je querer. It was je querer. It's hard, as you say, when you're translating or thinking in another language, because for me, I don't know how long it's going to take me, but I still cannot make the switch between thinking in Spanish, English to thinking in French. And I guess it's because I lack a lot of vocabulary in French. And it's also the verbs in French are whoa. French is beautiful if you have someone who speaks it correctly, but it has so many variations of the verbs, and the verbs have a gender, and everything has a gender. In Spanish, things also have a gender.
But not that same level.
Oh, another thing that happens to me a lot, and this has been since I was little, when I read numbers, I read them in Spanish.
Me too.
My math is always in Spanish.
Yeah. No, but numbers, even trying to read numbers in French, I usually read them in Spanish or English. I don't do not even the effort to try to pronounce it on French.
Yeah, but the numbers in French are complicated.
More or less, I guess, it's laziness.
When you start learning another language, you're actually trying to find the similarities between the languages that you already know and the one that you're trying to learn, and you're trying to make a connection.
That's a pro, I guess, being bilingual. You can start faster to learn words. You try to associate the similar ones, but then you will encounter the ones that
there's no connection. The cool thing about knowing, or at least having a vague knowledge about those languages, is that people react to you differently. Here in Montreal, they're very protective of their French. And if you start a conversation in French, even if your French is comme ci, comme ça, like mine is, they will treat you better because they understand that you're making an effort to speak their native language. It makes a huge difference.
At least, give that impression that I'm learning. I'm trying to learn language. Give me a little bit of break to get there.
And you could ask them the word. Sometimes I ask them I don't remember how this is called, and I would say it in English and they will tell it to me in French. And that way I know how it's said. And you also get to meet new people.
Yeah, just expand your audience or available people you can talk to.
So to summarize. Okay, cons of being bilingual, 2.5 lingual, would be sometimes you miss words.
They're words you cannot translate directly, so you have to learn them from scratch. Pros. You have a range of words you can use to try to make it easy to learn that new language. Try to associate them with those new words.
You can make new friends with different
talk
people.
to more people because you have more language and more words to use.
Is there anything we missed from that list? If so, and you're a bilingual, trilingual,
what experience
whatever,
have you had?
Yeah.
What cons and pros have you had when you went to learn a new language?
Thank you so much for watching. Leave a comment and give this video a thumbs up if you liked it. Missed the previous video? Click on that clip right there. If you want to get more videos, click on that subscribe button.
Bye. I don't consider myself trilingual. I'm a 2.5.
Not yet. Yeah. Trilingual.
Trilingual.
No. 2.5 lingual.
2.5 lingual.
Yep.